Welcome to the show that gave the color purple a whole new meaning. That's right, folks. We're following the second Marvel Netflix series, the show following a hard-drinking and hard-boiled private investigator with superhuman abilities as she combats her dark past returning to haunt her. This woman and this show is Jessica Jones. So join us as we start investigating Jessica Jones. Jessica, yes. How are you, BlueDragonFive?
Okay.
All right, it's been a while since we've talked some Jessica Jones. Of course, we've had to take some time off from pretty much everything to still revel in the awesomeness that is Deadpool. That's still kind of like we're in the afterglow of that in this stage.
I
But
just
we're
saw it
back.
for the third time today.
That's great. That's great. But so, oh my God, BlueDragonFive, we are waiting anxiously for the second half of the Daredevil teaser. The first half of the Punisher teaser was awesome. We're going to get into all that in a Daredevil speculation show, but for now, I feel like the tracks are kind of coming up upon us and the train's kind of coming and we need to lay the tracks down. So let's get right into it. Season 1, Episode 7 of Jessica Jones, entitled Top Shelf Perverts. Let's get to the plot.
Okay, plot's like so, folks. Kilgrave leaves Jessica a little gift in her apartment and a dead Rumen in her bed. Trish gives Simpson a lead on Kilgrave. Jessica devises a plan to land her in Supermax prison to protect everyone and everyone she's kind of hurt so far, to make sure everyone's safe going forward. Kilgrave puts a stop to that and invites Jessica home. And that's where she goes. That's the episode in a nutshell.
Oh yeah. She goes home, but not in a like heartwarming ET come home kind of way.
It's not like Star Wars Force Awakens. It's not like Trish. We're home.
So speaking of Jessica, let's get to Jessica's journey. So I think guilt is kind of like the big keyword of the episode here.
Absolutely. We see since the big Reva reveal to Luke Cage last episode, Jessica's been doing what she does best, drowning her sorrows in alcohol.
Of course.
So she's been essentially she's drunk as a skunk. And bear in mind, folks, with her super abilities, there's a good chance she kind of has like a Captain America metabolizing the alcohol things. I mean, she has to get really drunk to have that happen. I just want to make that clear. She has to drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of starts off the episode in a low place. Sounds a little bit like this. I love that she clings on to having her self-respect. No, I left. You didn't throw me out. You didn't win. Which, at the same time, is a little bit of sad. It's kind of a sad statement on her character in that. I'm saying if you want to really kind of look into the scars she bears from Kilgrave, it's that no one has power over me. I did this myself.
Mm-hmm.
So again, she's at a low place. She's definitely getting to what she it's so sad, this poor girl's life. You know, just when she gets to a low place, things get even lower.
Oh my God, yeah. I think the revelation of Ruben being dead kind of sends her over the edge, and we spent a good portion of this episode, interestingly enough, really starting to question her own sanity. You know what I mean? We really start to question if she's going over the edge or if this plan that she has in place is really the right call.
Well, speaking of going over the edge, we see again with her kind of getting schlockered again, even for a superhuman getting schlockered. She does some sloppy PI work, which of course I think the PI work does kind of reflect her kind of state. I mean, cynical but still effective is usually the case with her. In this case, she's dead set on doing the Jerry Hogarth favor, which is getting Wendy to sign those darn papers, which I do have an issue with this episode and going forward with the whole paper signing thing.
I'm sure you do.
One is she tracks down Wendy. Last episode it was set up that she was going to make Wendy sign those things if she had to dangle her off a building. She doesn't have a building because, again, I don't want her just flying drunk. That's very irresponsible for the kiddies out there. But she tracks her down to a subway platform and just tells you, okay, you're going to sign these papers. And Wendy's not having that. And here's a little bit of what happens there.
Oh, boy.
We're going to sign these papers. Shit. I didn't mean to do that.
Bum, bum, bum.
I love how
Luckily,
genuine she is. She's just like, oh, my bad, shit, sorry. Take
Luckily, luckily, she does manage to save Wendy, and kind of, I would say, heroic moment, but it is pretty much based on her own self-interest that she
Yeah, I would not
position.
call this a heroic sandwich moment.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more of like a heroic sandwich, like cleaning up your own fuck up.
Exactly. It's like, have you really saved someone if you threw them in there in the first place? I'm not so sure.
But of course, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the whole Daredevil train situation from the Affleck movie. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good example of how she's kind of just taking out her rage and basically being humiliated and just, you know, more than humiliated, like you said, kind of shamed with the whole Luke situation. But so she's taking that and she's applying it to her work, but it's really kind of just getting her into more hot water than anything else.
Yeah, you know, it feels so bad for her. Just like when that speech you had about, you know what true shame feels like. I mean, you get a sense of, oh my God, Jessica, even though she supposedly lifted this burden, I mean, that burden is still there. You know, she's still, it doesn't change the way he looked at her, or what she called him. You know, and what he called her.
Right.
You know, it's like she just feels so bad because she knows she keeps ruining lives like Luke Cage, a man she really came to like. And it's just like, just still sticking with her, sticking her crawl. It's causing her to drink even more so than usual, and it's causing her to make all these mistakes on the job. And it's kind of getting to her to, you're right, to get very kind of scary place psychologically, where she's just kind of like careless, and it's basically all that strength without kind of like a cynical, like, I use the abilities, but I use them for what serves my needs. And now it's just like complete. If that was like, that's borderline irresponsible. Now it's completely irresponsible. I don't give up. I'm just gonna throw them you're gonna sign those papers, or I'm gonna tear your hands off and forge them.
Right.
And then I'm gonna use crazy glue to put them back on. No baby hands for you.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Oh, gee. Oh, still in that Deadpool mood, I see.
I told you, I saw it today.
Oh, God.
Again. Anyway, so but you see what I'm saying, though. I mean,
Yeah.
She is kind of getting to a dangerous place psychologically, which is fueling some bad decision making. Well, not completely bad decision making once she gets kind of sobered up. It's still some very risky, self-destructive.
I think, yeah, it's self-destructive, definitely. I think how bad it is kind of up for debate, but let's get to that point.
Yeah, let's see. So she. You know what? I think let's talk about the Reuben death. He was kind of she comes home after
give a brief Reuben eulogy. We knew him too briefly. He lived a short life.
He made good banana bread.
I know, right?
And I think that's the main thing we're gonna have to take from Reuben.
Well, I mean, it'd be like if the ABC executive from the Muppets got killed off, we'd all remember her for her muffins, right?
Of doom.
It's the same basic principle.
Okay, but seriously, a quick word about Reuben. Reuben dying, which we'll speak about the moment a little later on. But in passing, Reuben dying. Again, I kind of comparing him to his sister. His sister was just she's back crap crazy.
She's in.
She's absolutely terrible. But Reuben at least had some times that you didn't really root for Reuben, but you kind of understood it. It's like, okay, I get it. He likes Jessica, and it's probably not going to go anywhere, but you don't hate the guy. It's like, oh, yeah, he's misguided, but he's okay. He's making a banana bread. That's kind of nice.
I mean, he's certainly in a more than dysfunctional living situation, so it's not entirely his fault.
And the idea of this guy's still kind of the straight man with Robin.
Right.
But again, Reuben was kind of cutesy, and he felt kind of, what he really felt like? He felt like the Punisher's neighbors in the Thomas Jane Punisher.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
That's what he really felt like to me in the show, and that was
funny. Me and my dad were talking about how underrated that movie was just today, so it's funny you brought that up.
Yeah, don't worry, that movie, it's not my cup of tea, but it does have a lot of redeeming values. It's not a bad movie. It's just, it's not perfect, and that's just kind of.
I don't think it's a superhero movie so much as it is just a good kind of drama character study. But anyways.
Okay, anyway, so suppose after the room discovery, which goes a little something like this,
Oh
just
boy.
to show you. And this, essentially, folks, this is when. Just let me preface it this because just kind of building this. She really, upon this discovery of Ruin, she just feels like Kilgrave's victim again, and she just can't deal with that. And I think that really gets communicated in her performance right here.
Mm-hmm.
Upon the discovery of the body, and then Malcolm saying, "Oh my God, that's Ruben, he's dead!" And it goes a little something like this.
He was here. He made Ruben. Oh man, his poor sister. I can't do this. I can't keep fighting him. I can't fight him. I can't do this. Look at me. You have not killed anyone, right? It's pretty. Stop. You're right. We're gonna make it stop. I'm gonna call the police right now, and we're gonna make it stop. They'll arrest me. You didn't do it, and the evidence will confirm that. They're death that I'm directly connected to. I'm so sorry.
Wow, good acting. All
I mean,
right,
just give her all of Anna Gunn's Emmys. Seriously. All of them.
So we can somehow like have like a whole thing in Hollywood where we just loan out Anna Gunn's Emmys, you know? We just like lend, like kind of rent them out to people. You know, it's like, yeah, you need an Emmy? Okay, let's just sign hers out. Use them. Come on. But there's
Right.
gathering dust. Let's give them for a useful purpose, you know?
So she comes up with quite a risky plan, which is essentially to incarcerate herself, but not just in any jail, in a supermax prison. Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Which, you know, to be honest with you, the term Supermax is used a lot in comics, so it's kind of like, I want to say it's like a direct Marvel pull. But I mean, there was also, like, there was a Green Arrow script for the longest time on in the DC side called Supermax. Like, I want to say that it's kind of just, in general, it's like just a super high security, a maximum security prison. That's just, it's just the name in all of comics. But, yeah, because Marvel has very iconic prison names, so I don't think it's a direct pull. Because there's, like, the Cube, there's the Raft, that's Spider-Man's prison, a whole bunch of other iconic prisons.
All right. So her plan is essentially, so Kilgrave is going to go in to retrieve her, and then there's going to be video footage, and that's essentially what she wants to get.
Yeah, and you know something about her plan I just kind of noticed we were watching is that, you know, it's like just kind of delving into the kind of the core between you know, her versus Kilgrave. It said she's trying, in this case, she's trying to force her own will as a sort of rebellion against Kilgrave. You know, it's like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do everything in my power. She's just so desperate to separate herself from the people she cares about, no matter what the personal cost is. It's like, you know, I don't care what I'm going to lose as long as the people I know are safe. I will throw myself in the lion's den as long as it catches Kilgrave and protects my friends. I'll put myself out of the equation no matter what the cost, because I can do that. And aside from, he's not controlling me to do this. He may be getting me desperate enough to do that, but I did this.
Yeah, so like I said, it's kind of like, it's a very noble thing to do, but there's a lot of layers to it. Like, we know that mentally she's kind of breaking down, so we kind of have to question, like, is this the right thing to do? Is this a last-ditch effort? Is it, like, even feasibly going to work?
Yeah, it's kind of examining real cleverly is that it's kind of examining the hero's sacrifice, and it's just kind of like through Jessica's purview, she doesn't see herself as a hero, but she's you know, it's like, well, okay, it's like on some level, it's like, okay, well, if I'm built up to be a hero to stop Kilgrave, I mean, I've got to sacrifice myself. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to take myself out of the equation. But as she finds out, it's not as easy as she thinks, where she just basically does the direct approach and just says, okay, I did it. Cuff me. You got me, officer. Doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets to we just see how powerless she feels later on in the police station. When she confronts Kilgrave face to face. Which is the first time they've actually met and talked face to face.
Right.
Before, it's like they've been in the same room together, but one's either been unconscious or on a phone. So it's like confronting the attacker finally. You can see how powerless and terrified she feels. Really great performance this episode.
Oh yeah.
And just trying to think, there might be one more thing before we transition here. By the end, it's the last thing on her progression, on her journey. This episode is that she realizes just how unrelenting and personal Kilgrave's making this. So she basically upgrades her approach on the whole self-sacrifice thing, where she realizes, okay, I can't put myself in prison, something he won't allow, but something I play into what he wants. So she accepts his offer to return home.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah, so again, it's like doing the more strategic heroic sacrifice. It's like she's becoming more heroic as time passes in the show. When the moment's coming out to 4 or 5 moments.
Oh God.
And this is definitely one of them when she's just
4 or 5 moments, Deadpool.
Okay. So. With that said, so basically, from point A, it's like she's really down in the dumps, drinking like a fish, and at the end, she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna play into the bad guy's hand to save everyone."
And it's probably the best cliffhanger of the whole season, I think, because it's like if you're watching it in a binge, there's no way you're gonna stop that binge for the day after that. You know what I mean? You're like, "Oh my God, I need to see the next one now."
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go into the Purple Man's progression, Jessica.
So, wow, the Purple Man's progression was absolutely fantastic this episode.
It was fantastic, even though he really didn't have a ton of screen time this episode. He was very much in the background until the last 10 minutes, and then the last 10 minutes is just like, boom. Like suddenly he's at the forefront, and he's doing stuff that's way more terrifying than we even thought possible up until this point.
And this is the episode where we get a big insight into his plans. We're just it's confronting the attacker. That's what this episode is. It's like the first time they've gotten the talk. It's like Kilgrave's, Kilgrave's like walking on sunshine. It's like, oh my God, the girl of my dreams, she's here. Isn't this lovely?
Now I just want to see a music video of Kilgrave set to "I'm Walking on Sunshine."
You see, what happens is it's Kilgrave just getting up in the morning. It's the music's playing. He's getting up in the morning. He's putting on his purple suit. He has puts his he kisses a picture of Jessica. It's like, today's the day, and I'm walking on sunshine. And he's telling the mailman to get out of his way, or jump into a yard with a dog in it or something. He just.
Someone needs to make this. Marvel needs to make this as like a promotional video for season 2.
See, this was the alternate opening of the episode I'm pitching you.
Oh my God, that would be such a good promo.
And here's what they do. See, it's a really bright, sunny day, but he has purple sunglasses on, so we see it from his perspective, his POV, and it's like everything's purple.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Anyways.
So speculation for future stuff with Kilgrave aside.
Well.
Back to this. So he is used very strategically in this episode. You establish like where he's at and how close he's getting to Jessica while he's in her home at the beginning of this episode, which is a fantastic way to start.
He's in his home, but yeah, we don't see that much of him. He's kind of in the shadows when he's in the home.
But just given the color choice in this guy, it's
exactly.
like purples. It's like a human touch, but still like very shadowy. It's like you're not the purple haze, so to speak. It's like it's this.
Oh yeah.
It's like this fogginess of it looks like it's a transition between colors. It's that bruising state. It's that trauma. Again, trauma personified into a color.
One of the episodes from season 2 needs to be called AKA Purple Haze.
But speaking of his plans, I thought his plan was very, really clever. And I can't explain it well. I'm going to put it to the great David Tennant to explain to the folks and explain to Jessica what exactly his plan is, what's going on here. So indulge us, folks. This might be a little while, but
I think Bryan Cranston might need to just let him touch his ME.
Yeah, just let him touch it. Just let him rub it a little.
All right.
Okay.
I have absolutely no intention of controlling you. I want you to act. Act how? Suicide? Is that why you've been torturing me? Declaration of love? No, obviously. I was trying to show you what I see. I'm the only one who matches you. Challenges you. I'll do anything for you. This is a sick joke. You have killed innocent people. Oh, well, that milk-toast little man boy, he interrupted me while I was leaving you a present, which apparently you didn't even find. Come on. You cannot pretend you didn't irritate you two. I wanted to slap him after 30 seconds. I realize this will take time. I'm going to prove it to you. Phone is that? Next person whose phone rings has to eat it. Lights, cockroaches, and that cell phone, and the smell of piss. I am trying to love you, people. I'll come with you. Protect that, not out of choice. You know me well. We can work out the rest. Oh, please. I have you to love. I know what it looks like. I do watch television. You deranged prick. You've never loved anyone in your repulsive life. Do not presume to know! Realize how unsatisfactory that was until you left me to die. The first thing, excuse me, person, I ever wanted to get away from me. It feels like I never felt before. You had me. I actually missed you. Well, I'm here now. You've got me. No, I don't. I'm hoping you'll choose me just like I've chosen you. I believe you will figure out the same thing I did. We're inevitable.
Wow, a lot of stuff to chew on.
Yeah, a lot to dig into there. I love how he just gets so offended over the phone going off, and he's like, I'm trying to profess true love here, people!
I just love the, again, it would have been great to see. I would have loved to listen as a guilt command, but it would have been hilarious if someone had to eat their phone.
That would have been a good sight gag, for sure.
Oh my God.
Like, maybe they, like, take the battery pack out first and, like, just, you know, try eating it by chunk, you know, just see how they try and go about it.
Yeah, but you know, you see his plan here. You see, Killer is definitely, well, this is an understatement. He's misguided. He's misguided mainly because he truly, in his own warped mind, he truly loves Jessica, and he wants her to return the favor without the use of his powers at this point. Because like the subtle reason for this, like that's on the surface reason, that's what he's pitching to Jessica. That's what he's pitching essentially to the whole precinct.
Right.
But no, that's what he's pitching to her, and there's definitely some truth there. But I think the underlying reason, I think that will definitely kind of get proved later on, is that you can definitely see shades of this early on. Is that when that happens, when she loves him without the use of his powers, when she returns that affection, he regains the only vestige of power he lacked. And then once that happens, he'll be all controlling. He'll be more powerful, because we saw the last episode I believe is the last one, where Kilgore is just trying to control people without using his power more strategically. He's trying to control people.
It was the last episode, yeah.
By manipulation over use of power, every twist and turn. Like either use it really strategically just to serve his needs, or primarily just to kind of just charm people, manipulate them, to kind of get them to work to his advantage, which again is, in retrospect, is practice for what he's planning to do with Jessica when you think about it. So that's why he's really trying to change, to at least kind of sell her on this idea of, look, I will never control you again. It's kind of like, it's a little bit like Kingpin's thing of like, I will never lie to you if you ask me whatever you want.
It's a very like the Kingpin and Vanessa thing is already twisted, but this is even more twisted than that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, but you see though, it's like that's what he really wants. He wants the one that got away to be the one person. Oh, you escape my control. That means you have to give me my control. It's the darkest, most
twisted, like announcement of love that I've ever seen. It's just like, and he is very genuine about it. That's the scary thing, is that in his mind, he's pulling off these grand romantic gestures.
Yeah. Forget 50 Shades of Grey. I'm talking about 50 Shades of Purple, man.
You need to know the rules, Jessica.
Seriously, tell me you wouldn't read that book if it was 50 Shades of Purple, man.
All right, is that it?
Let's see. Just the other character beats. That was kind of the big, the meaty part of his plot there that he wants. That was a big reveal, which is a very interesting plan. Of course, it's going to get far more interesting next episode when we see that kind of play out. That's just him setting up the plan. There's professing his love as he's making a show of it. But primarily, is the other things to note here is he's still very impulsive, like a child. Again, he is kind of speaking of man boy, he is very childlike himself, especially with Ruben. Basically, it's like a playground altercation when this scene happens. We have the meeting of two man boys, so to speak. Let me play it.
Who are you? What are you doing in Jessica's apartment with all the lights on?
The lights are off to suggest no one is here. You couldn't take a hint.
Because someone is here? Not Jessica.
Tell me, who are you?
My name is Ruben. I'm her neighbor. I just made her banana bread.
Why?
Because I love her.
Oh boy.
So after that meeting, let's just say,
don't tell the purple man that you love his beloved Jessica. It's just not going to work out for you.
It didn't go well because let's just say it wasn't listed in our Kilgore command, so I was mentioned here. His command was so horrifying. Here's what his command was: to have Ruben slit his own throat and lay in her bed.
Oh God! Right.
So while he was bleeding out, he was still compelled, every last fiber of his mind, while it was still operating before he bled out, to lay in her bed.
Mm-hmm.
How creepy is that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's pretty heavy.
What's being communicated there, I guess, in terms of methodology, is like, okay, well, you think you love Jessica Jones? You think you love the woman that is mine? You think you love her? Okay, well, fine. I'm going to play into your illusion. What you're going to do is you're going to bleed for that love. Your heart's going to pump with that false love you think, and you're going to lay in her bed at the place that you think you want to go, which I own that bed. That bed is mine. That woman is mine. I didn't even
think of the implications of the bed. Yeah, that's some deep level thinking.
You want to lie with her? You want to bleed for her? I'm going to give you everything you want because you think you love my woman.
Okay.
That sort of thing, and that's essentially it's kind of the underlying message there between Kilgore. Just like it's not just he was just leaving a gift in there. He could have just said, "Okay, well, just smash your head against the wall," like he did with the one guy. Could have just said,
right.
He wanted to prove a point, and that way it's just showing you how petty and how filled with anger the Purple Man is, like a kid on the playground. Yeah, not as methodical, but a kid on the playground, essentially. Just so impulsive. I mean, out of all the ways you could have just killed him, you just made him slit his own throat and walk into the bed. I mean, that has he's really angry at this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So basically, he has Jessica right where he wants her. Again, he was trying to get her desperate to the point where she would go to the house and just get close to him and go to the house so he would reach her. But he didn't expect her to go to the police station and all that stuff. That was the surprise. But still, he has her exactly where she wants her. Completely desperate, just desperate for all the bad stuff to stop, and just to ask Kilgore what is it going to take. And I'm just trying to think. There's one more here. Again, he's just trying to control someone. I'm sorry, we already mentioned this. He's trying to control someone without his abilities, which is very interesting and very terrifying because that does play into the big overarching thing of Jessica's. Like, did she? It's whenever you commit a Kilgrave act, is it because you're willing to do it or not willing to do it of your own ability? So if he can just kind of blend it now and again, like you just suggest something and you do it, is it because you want to or because you're controlled? He's getting that good now. It's going to be up in the air. Yeah, how much is that? And he just infuriates him when a moment's ruined too. By the way, as
of course.
Look at the phone, but I love it. He cares about. He's so meticulous. He cares about every little detail. Like, the flowers need to be just there, and it's like, oh my god, this place stinks. I'm trying to profess my love here. That guy is gonna eat his phone. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
let's move on to Alias Alliances.
So let's start with Jessica and Malcolm.
Jessica and Malcolm. All right, this is a really good bond that's starting to form here. I think Malcolm, once again, I feel like he's kind of just the reasonable voice on her shoulder. He's like the shoulder angel.
Yeah, he's the Jiminy Cricket.
Of course, which I think is very fitting for him. I think Malcolm's whole point in the story is kind of like people just. They wrote him off. You know what I mean? They just kind of like no one took him seriously, and that's kind of how the Purple Man kind of used him to his advantage. But now that pretty much everyone, like Robin, for example, in the so delightful scene we get between Malcolm and Robin, she definitely writes Malcolm off. But I guess it's just so nice to see Jessica and Malcolm interacting because Jessica knows exactly where Malcolm is at this state, and Malcolm. Obviously, they're kind of kindred spirits for each other, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love right off the bat the way the episode lets Malcolm in his entrance into the episode. Aside from just the ridiculousness of him been running around for sobriety, is a little bit like this. I shouldn't say ridiculous. I mean, I think there are like runs and charity drives about walking for cause.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just stuff to kind of pump your body up, get the endorphins flowing.
But anyway, points. I love his entrance into the episode. That's complete role reversal of how Malcolm would be found constantly. And we've seen this play again, so kind of really neatly laid in there that this is where Jessica would always find Malcolm, and now Malcolm's in the position of being the sober, responsible one. It goes
right.
like this. Elevator door opens.
Sobriety gloves.
I love that he's like you're a real inspiration. Again, it's kind of the words of wisdom, like you're a good person, Jessica Jones, like he would say when he was stoned out of his mind. But he's still, it still has some merit of like, oh yeah, you're a real inspiration. He's using again now. He's a little bit of the cynical one, where she was always the cynical.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's a fun role reversal, and again, Silver Malcolm's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's there to pick Jessica up. He's there for her no matter what. And importantly, the thing with Malcolm, this is true with the character as a whole, is that he's always there for Jessica at her lowest points. He's either the cause of it or he's always present during her lowest points in her life. Again, with the whole the Kilgrave meeting, he was there. The realization that he even spied upon, he was there. And that's what they're there for. They're both at each other's lowest points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of neat that he plays the role of Jessica's guardian and the responsible one here. He is her guardian. It's the closest thing he had. We're going to see kind of her motherly figure she had. And oddly enough, Malcolm's actually a good motherly figure in Jessica's life.
Oh, I think Malcolm is an awesome motherly figure.
Yeah, he is.
He fits that role very well.
Yeah. And, right. He does, speaking of just kind of a parental guardian, we get more guardian-esque role. He is not Star-Lord, because that's a different guardian. But in terms of just a responsible guardian here, he does what's best for her because, he feels responsible for her misfortunes in her life, and he doesn't want her to punish herself for for Kilgrave's actions. She's a good person. She helped me out. She shouldn't pay for what this man's done to her life, what he's done to my life. Oh, is she, this good person who's endured all this, shouldn't pay for this? I mean, part of all these things, my fault. I bear witness to this too many times. He is in many ways kind of like her Alfred too. In many ways, like, I cannot stand by here and watch you destroy yourself and do something this reckless. Please don't do this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I guess next, unless you have anything else to say on Jessica Malcolm,
nope.
Let's go to Trish and Simpson.
Trish and Simpson. Okay, honestly, this is kind of the point where Simpson is starting to get a little overbearing for me.
Well, to be fair, this kind of transferred his role in the plot here. So it's not exactly a whole Simpson focused episode. It's just Simpson. He's just practically getting to the next point in the story. So he's just basically he has more of an important role in the next episode. This is them setting up why he's there in the next episode.
Yeah.
So we see they're still having some good times. It's not like it's not like a calendar girl sequence, but they're having some good times.
Oh god. Or like a sweet Christmas Jessica Jones and Luke Cage sequence.
Right. But still, they're having some good times. But
there should be an award for the best Marvel sex scene.
Well, I mean, I think that we know who that goes to.
But still, I'd like to see the nominees.
Come on, International Women's Day. Come on, or what was it? God, what was it? Is it International Women's Day?
I think it's Women's Appreciation Day.
Something like that. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You've seen it 3 times, man. Come on.
I know. I think it's International Women's Day. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Anyway, get that aside. Back to what was. Oh yeah, but the point is, with the umpteenth time they've the quote Deadpool bumped fuzzies. They're on the same page. Here in their relationship, they're putting a lot of trust in each other. She puts trust in Simpson, which is kind of up in the air the last couple episodes, but now they've finally gotten on the same page. She's using her resources because she realizes in the field she's not really much help at this point. She's not really fully trained as Hellcat like she will later on. But she's using her resources to help. Her vast Trish Talk informational resources and using Simpson's his boys and his training and everything.
The boys.
Always the boys with this guy. But still, he's using his training and his skill set and his fighting skills and all that stuff to be useful. So again, they are kind of feeding into each other, making each other feel worthwhile and feel like they're being useful towards the end goal of getting Kilgrave and to protect someone.
Yeah, I don't know why I said he's kind of going off the deep end now. I think that's definitely later on where his story definitely goes off the rails.
Yeah, but he's still just trying to we got to get Kilgrave. That's the mission. Let me in on this.
Right.
And she's okay. I'll let you know this because I trust you. And she's the brain where Simpson's the body and the skills, so to speak. And what's really neat though is he has I can't recall the lines per se, but essentially it's this idea towards the end of the scene where it's like you can get a sense of their attraction. There's an attraction over the conviction, over Simpson's convictions to his ideals that Trish finds attractive.
Right.
It's like both of them are kind of attracted to the, they believe in something with their full heart, which of course we know is something that's going to really lead the Simpsons' downfall. And he's a little too convicted to his ideals.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be getting tattoos on his face, but we'll see where that goes.
God.
Meanwhile,
I forgot about that in the comics. Oh dear God.
Meanwhile, our next characters, next daily alliance will probably be Jessica and Jerry.
Jessica and Hogarth. All right, this is I think this is where it starts to become problematic for Hogarth a little bit.
Yeah. Again, that's what I'm telling you, folks. There are 3 characters in this show. One of them is a complete train wreck, which we're going to get to. Don't worry. The other 2,
we'll get to that.
The other 2, on paper, work phenomenally, but they just sandwich out this season. It's a really bad sandwich. The middle is just terrible for these characters at the beginning and the end. That's satisfactory. They're the inside out Oreos, not those inside out Oreos, but just other inside out Oreos.
Oh, don't make me get inside out Oreos now.
It's like a reverse ice cream sandwich.
Right. Oh God.
You need to put in a bowl. Bowl satisfactory, and it's just I kind of wish I could use this as the more handy option. But enough of the food metaphors. Back to this. So we see in terms of their dynamic here in this episode, is that their character flaws are preventing their goals. I like how that dynamic's kind of going for them. We get a sense of that this episode. Jessica's character flaws definitely made her, the alcoholism definitely got her to get sloppy on the job, which is at personal cost to Jerry. Sure. And Jerry's kind of her stubbornness and her ego and her own self-interest distances herself from Wendy, Jessica, and Pam altogether.
Yeah, it really kind of screws over Jessica in the same way that it screwed over Hope early on in the season.
Absolutely. Let me just mention this. Here's my big. It's still been building now. From this point forward, this is where it gets tedious. I hate the the divorce paper subplot is so dumb.
Yeah, it's something that they could have done in like maybe 2 episodes, maybe 3, but it just gets dragged and dragged and dragged.
I mean, come on, Wendy, why you gotta be so thick-headed?
Yeah,
just sign the papers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
God, just why do you hold? Here's the one that bugs me. It's because it's been set up early on that you know she's just doing this to hurt Jerry Hogarth, and it's just like Jerry Hogarth mentioned specifically.
Like we get the motivation. It just like on paper, it just starts to become repetitive, and we see the same sorts of scenes over and over.
I mean, here's the line that kills that idea. Here's the line. I mean, it's a good line, but after when you just keep doing it, it just makes it self-defeating. It's when it's when Jerry Hogarth. I'm just trying to. I know the episode was. I'm just trying to think. It was specifically. Oh yeah, right. Jerry Hogarth said, "Well, you think you're gonna win me back?" Essentially, like you think you're gonna win me back with this. Like, you think there's any chance I'd still go back with you?
Right.
And everything. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. It's a ridiculous motivation. She wants to divorce you. Why would you still have hope to get back with her?
Well, I think, like you said, it's just kind of like they're trying to make her just like spiteful towards Hogarth and like, oh, I'm not going to sign these papers because I'm not going to give you a chance to move on. But writing wise, it's like I feel like they could have streamlined this story a lot better than they did.
Yeah, it's really just it's ridiculous, and it's ridiculous stubbornness on both parts. And Hogarth's thing here again, I like it, with her character is that she's motivated by her own self-interest here, and as I mentioned, distance herself from Wendy, and that that led to their divorce. It distances herself from Pam because Pam doesn't know all her secrets and all that stuff. That keeps them at a distance, which will in the end kind of really backfire on their relationship. And with Jessica, again, it's like Hogarth can't follow basic instructions because her ego just won't allow her to just. Well, if I lose a case, that makes me look bad. I can't sacrifice any of the professional empire I've built up here just to, help people I care about or should care about or who could of use to me. It doesn't matter if that any smidge of a black permanent record marker on my record is there. It's gonna. It's just even like the faintest shadow of it. I can't have that.
And that is just like you said. It's ultimately Hogarth's downfall.
Absolutely, it's why her relationships are kind of doomed to fail. Really, she's
God, yes.
She's too cold and distant, And again, I see Wendy. Look at what you just made all the the biggest. Let me one more thing about Wendy. Just the biggest. The thing, just proving your point why it's so futile, Wendy, is that you've mentioned all of Hogarth's negative qualities. Why would you have any hope of getting back together with her?
Like I said, I think at this point it's just a matter of Wendy is fucking with Hogarth, but in terms of the writing, it's like, all right, we get it, kind of move on from it. You know what I mean?
If you were thrown, Tiki, let me ask you this.
Okay.
If you were thrown into a subway and almost run over by a train, would you still pursue this, knowing what she has behind?
No, I totally get you. No, at that point, I'd be like, all right, you know what? Fuck you. I'm taking my losses.
Exactly. I mean, again, Breaking Bad was a strategic purpose for not signing the divorce. I'll give Skylar that much. It was a strategic reason for not signing the divorce papers, whether she liked it or not. Here, it's like just stupid and futile. Anyway, let me play one good moment of Jerry Hogarth just kind of providing some information on what Jessica's kind of going for here. It's providing some information and kind of highlighting the issue about the Supermax thing.
What would it take? All right, Supermax only houses the worst criminals. Top-shelf perverts, cannibals, serial killers who make mosaics with their victims' fingernails. Well, that's very specific. It's a living hell. With real demons, it is the last place you want to end up. Be at the 15th precinct, baby. I'm a defense lawyer. I keep people out of jail. Not today. What are you going to do? It's already done.
By the way, I remember when I was watching for the first time here, I still have not looked into it because I'm pretty sure there is a Marvel character called Mosaic who does that crime. I'm not sure if there was that graphic in the comics, but like a character called Mosaic. Right. So I think that's a reference to. But then again, there's also a DC character now because now it's like every character is like if there's a DC one, there's a Marvel version.
Of course.
Because there was a comic introduced like a few years ago. I'm worried I might be thinking of that character called Mr. Mosaic, who's just pretty much a funky-looking guy in a purple suit. That's about it.
No purple tie-in. Ooh.
Well, there's like pinstripe. Again, purple's kind of a popular color in comic books. Okay, but moving on from Hogarth to another. Let's just get the unpleasantness out of the way.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
real
it.
quick, because there's not a lot to it now.
I feel like she's the Barbara of this show, but there's much less of her than there is of Barbara, so it's kind of less painful.
I don't know. It's like picking your arsenic versus, arsenic versus some other kind of poison.
Well, at any rate, she's pretty bad. So,
I mean,
God.
Arsenic versus cyanide. That's what you're dealing with here.
So you want to talk about people just judging Malcolm and just straight up not giving him a chance? It's like she's like, "Oh, that's not your apartment. What are you doing? Are you sniffing around there for drugs?
I just wish they would.
I should know."
I just really wish Bullseye could just make his first appearance in Jessica Jones, just take her out. Can we just have that scene? Can we put that in the director's cut? Can we just have Bullseye just make his appearance once they cast the actors, insert
Or maybe
like
just have that be in the trailer.
Jessica Jones season 2. Kingpin says, "Okay, I have a very important job for you." Cut to la di da di da. I'm crazy. Bang.
And then Kingpin's just like, "Oh, thank God." She was the menace of Hell's Kitchen.
Now Miss Jones owes me a favor.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, her interaction with Malcolm is just overall unpleasant. I mean, you gotta give her at least a couple sympathy points for her interaction with Jessica, because she is just losing her brother, and
that's the only redeeming thing she has in the whole entire series. That one scene at the end of this, where she's just going to begging
I'm not
Jessica.
even gonna say it's good. I'm just saying it's passable.
It's the
You know what I mean?
I'm with you there. I'm just saying that's the only thing that comes close to a good scene. I like it on Jessica's side more than her side, but I'm just saying,
right.
passable in the scene, but it's really on Jessica, and Jessica's carrying that scene. Like just the idea, she's just a placeholder spouting lines off to her. It's what she is. She's saying, "Oh, my brother, please, you're a PI. I'll hire you. Find my brother. Avenge me." Sorry, wrong franchise. Anyway, but seriously, I love that. I was no discredit to that scene. I do love Jessica's just kind of that the idea of like this woman saying, "Please I'm begging you, please, I'll hire you. Just find my brother." And the PI say, "Can't find her brother because she knows she's dead. It's because of her." That's a decent way to kind of ramp up your ending. You ramp it up, not end it on, but ramp it up.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. So, basically, on the whole, just Robin, she's dumb. She's very nosy. Not very. Malcolm's very open-minded, though. He's giving her benefits. So points on Malcolm, no points at all on Robin.
I'd say that's a good kind of last stand on her.
Because I mean, Malcolm, what he's doing here, he's like he does feel true sympathy because she lost her brother, and he knows, and he actually disposed of the body, but he can't tell her. So you feel for Malcolm in this scene, definitely. He feels guilty, and it's kind of interesting going forward. Again, the only thing that gave me hope that Robin wouldn't improve, but didn't pan out at all, was when Malcolm was like kind of providing that he was essentially there was a hope that Malcolm would have fixed the character, that he would have he was not there's anything wrong with him too much, but he was evolved as a character. Maybe he could evolve her, but that didn't help at all.
No, didn't pan out.
Okay, anyway, so. Here's an interesting one. Here's a really interesting one. Jessica and Dorothy Walker.
Oh boy, we only get one scene, right?
Technically we had two because one of them is kind of a flashback. But adult Dorothy, yeah. I mean, not adult Dorothy. I mean, older Dorothy. We get one scene.
Okay, right. Okay.
So let's focus on kind of the main scene in the episode.
Sure.
So they're both connected through Trish, and I got to tell you, Tiki, on the rewatch, I found a lot of interesting things in this scene. It's like you gotta remember this woman was kind of like the horrible motherly figure Jessica had at the end of the scene where she calls her mom. It's like, oh yeah, right, she is technically her mom, and it's no wonder Jessica has a cynical worldview.
Yeah, and just with Dorothy, it just gets darker and darker as we go along. It's like at first glance, she's just kind of like, well, maybe this is like a Hollywood mom and kind of pushed her daughter into the spotlight a little bit too much. But no, it's like, we just kind of go down the rabbit hole with her a little bit.
I mean, she's kind of like Bill Fisk from Daredevil. It's like the little caliber parent she is.
Right, for sure.
I gotta tell you, do you think she's a little more cruel than Bill Fisk?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
That's
Bill Fisk meant well. Bill Fisk meant well, Dorothy.
Well,
Dorothy connives at every twist and turn. Bill Fisk, he was misguided, but he meant well.
Okay.
I say misguided, I mean a lot of horrible things with that, but still, I mean he intended to be a good father. Didn't pan out at all. Okay, point is, but again, I think Dorothy's definitely responsible for a lot of Jessica's cynicism and kind of the regression to the teen girl state. Because when you think about Jessica Jones, she is kind of in many respects, she is kind of that. It's like under the care of a nurturing parent or a nurturing guardian, maybe Jessica Jones could have grown up to be more optimistic and such. But because she was raised by Dorothy, it's like she was still kind of in that transitional phase of, oh my God, my parents have been killed. I have all these powers and no guidance whatsoever. No Alfred, no Jack Murdoch, so to speak. You know, she doesn't have any of those figures to look towards. You know, she's just it's just like, you know, I don't care at all about you, so I can't nurture you through this period. And that's why Jessica is still in the state of that little girl in many respects, in terms of like, just Trish has been the closest thing she has to that figure.
Mm.
But still, can only work really as kind of a sisterly figure. Then I can look, you and I are sharing our pain here, and I'll keep you in this state, but I won't let anything bad happen to you. But not letting her evolve and kind of transform into the next state of her character, so to speak. She's regressed her character.
Sure.
Like maintain.
Yeah.
No, I'm not crazy about that, am I?
No, you're not. And
again, Dorothy, her mom, definitely taught her the cruelty of the world, and probably helped with the transition to the PI work, where someone just familiarized her with, like, hey, this is how horrible the world can be. Get to know it. And it's like, well, yeah, I know how horrible the world can be. It's why I'm an expert of, like, kind of photographing and kind of breaking the news to people, because I've suffered at the hands of that for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen true crazy. And of course, you know, Dorothy does represent definitely the seedy underbelly of
course.
Again, she has this really smiley facade of like, oh, Jesse, hi, come in. And it just goes very south.
Mm-hmm.
They just instantly have this disdain. I'm sorry, would you like to say some stuff?
No, I'm good.
Let me say one more thing. I got a clip to play, and I think we'll move on to the next one. You know, just a lot of disdain, a lot of biting comments towards each other. Oh, you look, you look good, Jesse. You look done. As in, you know, a lot of work done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they both. It's interesting. They both serve a purpose to each other in their lives. You know, like Jessica has served the purpose of, you know, you see the sympathy case that makes Patsy Walker. Hey, it's Patsy.
It's Patsy.
Wanna be a friend. But which, by the way, in case you I don't know if we were talking about this, you know, Patsy Walker was definitely a deep cuts cover, and she started off as one of the 50s romance comics when they were.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Just want to make sure. Yeah, they both serve a purpose to each other. She was the sympathy case that boosts Patsy Walker's numbers, and the other one was like, you know, you were my bread and butter, is like, and a roof over my head. That's what you were. And both, deep down, it's like deep down they don't love each other. Deep down they really hate each other.
Oh yeah.
And it goes a little something like this to show you, like, you know, their where they're at in their dynamic. It's a little taste of it now, a little bit later. Sorry.
Trish is fine. She's pretty like Fort Knox, and she's savvy enough not to let anyone sneak up on her except you. She has no defenses against you. She doesn't need defenses. I'm her mother. You're her pimp. I haven't seen her in 3 years. Except for when you accidentally ran into her? It's a small city. And leave long, drunken messages for her? What is it you want from me? I want you to stick to the agreement. Because no matter where I am, even if I'm behind bars, if you try anything, I will find out. I will come for you, and it will hurt. Change, Jesse. Doesn't make the bad shit you did go away. I just had a problem. I got help and royalty checks. I earned those. If you want them to keep coming, you'll respect Trish's wishes, which I will enforce.
It's a real Mother's Day scene.
Not a loving mother-daughter relationship there.
Again, just when you think things can't get sadder for Jessica Jones, it just you meet another figure, another inspirational figure from her life.
But the great thing about this is that we don't even really know the dark shit that this woman has done just yet.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a glimpse at that, folks. I love it. They build it up, like just hearing some of the stuff. Well, I'm gonna play a little bit for you later on to some of the foreshadow they give us for another segment here. Just gonna blow your mind, just how dark and seedy, just a little mention of what she's done is. Okay, so next, well, I guess we'll rapid fire through Clemens.
Yes, please rapid fire through some.
Yeah, Clemens was he sets basically she's just using Clemens. It's basically like, well, look, you're close to retirement. This will be an open shut case. She's basically using him because she knows there's like a deep down there's like a twinge of respect she has for him looking into the Schlottman case. Like, okay, this guy's looking into his playing, but I can't. Obviously, I can't help him with that because I would compromise all the stuff I don't want to get into. But I mean, I do appreciate him looking into it, not being like your average cop, seemingly. But
it's not like he's not treating it as just an open and shut case. He's actually like taking the time to investigate it.
Yes, and I do. Again, I was really interested by Clemens. I'm wondering if he will appear in Daredevil season 2 because he does have Punisher ties. So we'll see. Let's just not rule it out completely. There's still a chance, depending on timelines, But more on that a little later. But the point is, with Clemens here, it's like this is like her last shot at Supermax and her last shot at Supermax. So what she does to kind of just prove to Clemens, who again is not treating it like she obviously wants to go to a specific person. Maybe it's for a devious purpose. So he's a good detective. He's a smart detective, knowing there's more to this. It needs to be out, but she just kind of just blows his mind. So okay, this will send me to Supermax or bust. It was a little something like this.
Guy's head tore it off with my bare hands.
Oh boy.
And the hacksaw.
Unbelievable.
Miss Jones, sit down.
You are wasting time. Put me in Supermax.
Well, so he's just like, no.
I just love it's the ultimate. I love it whenever it's just the simple action for breaking a lock. I just love it, like kind of the ultimate lock breaker. It's like, yeah, I'm chained here to the desk. What?
Right.
Okay, last one we have here, and this last one, we got Jessica and Trish. Of course, always kind of a media one, but not a lot there. There's really one
Not a
little
ton,
nice.
but it's kind of like standard for Trish. She's worried about Jessica. She has that great moment with Malcolm.
Of course, actually, we should probably play that real quick.
Probably get into that. Yeah, I think that's Trish's standout moment of the episode.
Right, so it's their first meeting. It's a little rocky, but they both realize they're looking out for Jessica. It's a very odd matchup. It's really fun. It goes a little something like I'm hoping this is. There we go. A little something like this.
I'm going to show you something. You can't freak out. Promise.
Just show me.
It was a comedy setup if I've ever heard one.
Oh yeah.
Just keep your voice down. What the hell happened? Don't worry. All right, but what matters now is what's going to happen at 8 p.m. tonight. I need you. Jessica needs your help.
Again, I like that both of her guardian figures are kind of like looking out for Jessica here. It's like a new parent meeting old parents, so to speak.
Definitely, and they're just like, look, our kid is about to do something stupid.
Yep. Look, I know you don't like me. Just don't shoot me long enough for
Exactly.
me to explain what's going to happen to Jessica. Okay, but then we get a really heartwarming scene with the kid in question, so to speak. This little adorable girl. No, it's Jessica Jones, fully grown. We have Trish speaking with her friend, speaking with Jessica, and basically Trish is like, this is after that scene happened. After they've kind of set up the idea that okay, well, Malcolm is He's getting rid of the bodies, cleaned up. They've cleaned up the scene. Trish even cleaned up all the blood just to go out of her way to protect Jessica, as we know she would instantly. And it's just kind of Trish confronting her with what you almost did, what she's planning on doing. Just saying, hey, look, she's facing her with the emotional reality of like, look, you're just grieving right now. That you're not thinking things through. You feel so bad about what happened. And do you realize how much of a long shot of a plan this is? You shouldn't punish yourself for all this. And Jessica makes some valid points, a few of them being sounding a little bit like this. We get a little fun line here and there in the midst of all this drama, which still really works.
That guy's head.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Here we go.
Tell Simpson to back off. He's gonna get himself killed. He'll call us in when he finds Kilgrave. Just let us handle it until what? Until I come home and find my landlady choked out in my bathtub? Or I find you bludgeoned to death with my vacuum cleaner? We both know you don't own a vacuum cleaner.
Again, in the midst of only she can get away with that line because, like, I know she doesn't have a vacuum cleaner. But she's just pointing out, like, look, the cost that you're laying out here, it's. I'm sorry, actually, let me play a little bit more of that scene, just kind of get through what I'm saying here a little faster. Basically, Jessica makes this counterpoint here, which is very valid of like why she needs to do this.
I won't let you go to prison. You're not a murderer. Yes, I am. You're still punishing yourself for that woman's death, and now more people are dead. Hope Schlockman's parents, Ruben, Reba, and someone has to give their families closure. And until the real killer shows up, that's gonna be me. I have to pay. There's so many ways this could go wrong. There's one way it'll go right.
And then we get this lovely, heartwarming line that communicates volumes here to kind of close out the scene. I think it's lovely. It goes a little something like this.
Still not the hero that you wanted me to be. You're exactly the hero I wanted you to be.
Aww.
Yeah. Really nice, really nice. And
Okay.
it's like just she's proud of the heroic sacrifice that Jessica's prepared to make in that moment. Really nice.
For sure. All right, so let's move on to some top shelf stuff. What really rose to the top this episode? What kind of made it stand above the other episodes in certain respects? I think our Kilgrave commands are definitely kind of up there. I think the Kilgrave commands this episode are by far probably the most memorable scenes in the series. Or no, not in the series, but definitely in this episode. So we'll get to that. We'll put a pin in that. But other than that, what do you think was some of the top shelf stuff we got?
Well, I love, again, I mentioned I love the Kilgrave setup. Just kind of like showing hints of him until he kind of makes his grand entrance in the end. The kind of going with the gruesome, over the top, severed head bit.
Right, of course.
That worked very well. I mean, it's the idea she pulled our hero, showing that our character is still not quite heroic completely yet. They're showing that Jessica is the closest thing Jessica Jones can get to a heroic sacrifice at this point, where it's she ripped off a guy's head.
And before that, she was just in a drunken stupor, which is definitely different for a hero character.
Absolutely. I think Kirsten Murray's performance was absolutely fantastic this episode. One of her best.
Definitely.
I love that they really took their time to show kind of Jessica getting her affairs in order. Like, again, she went to Dorothy just to kind of make sure, she basically attested to an imaginary, basically more hand over fist, like a restraining order against Trish. Like, make sure you don't get near Trish Walker. I will break out and I will find you and I will hurt you. Sort of thing, it's just like she's getting her affairs in order. She's going to Hogarth, making sure everything's airtight, that's going to happen. And one of my favorite moments was the kind of like she's taking in. She knows she's going to be in prison. Like, she's going down to the police station at 8 o'clock, so she has like an hour or so left. So she's in a taxi cab and realizes, okay, I'm wasting my time here. And she gets to the highest point of the city. And I always love this bit. They play the theme, and I love, how much I love that opening.
Yeah, I love when they do that for sure.
Like, I just wish if there was some way they just could have worked it in like almost every episode, because I love that theme so much.
Gotham, I think, is doing it more and more.
Yeah, I just love it. As she's climbing up and just like taking in the view one last time. It's like it's Jessica Jones's catharsis of like, I'm gonna miss this. Like I know I'm going down, but at least I'm gonna enjoy it for a moment. Just enjoy the view of the fresh airs for a moment. Like we're just high above the smokestacks, where you're avoiding kind of avoiding like the choking depression of what it looks like from the ground's view.
Right.
Let's see. Also revealing details of Jessica's past through Dorothy, I thought was really clever, just kind of alluding to a lot of stuff before we kind of get a glimpse at it at the end. I think we're just again. I like how there's the whole episode where we're allowed time to take in Jessica's big heroic action and the big question throughout the episode, like if it's going to work. Like this next episode going to take place with like her in prison.
Right, and it's also, like I said earlier, I think it kind of explores the character's sanity a little bit. It's kind of like, okay, this is like, we understand how noble it is, we understand her intentions, but is this the right thing to do? And it definitely kind of gives a good balancing act in that regard.
And one of my favorite bits in the episode is visually knows everything about it. I love the visual image of Jessica surrounded by all these stage moms and little children.
Yes,
with one of our favorites, let's get to our sponsor this episode, and I think
Audible.com.
No, not that sponsor.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One second. Wait. I'm just gonna find it, folks. Sorry, I kind of misplayed. I got it though. Here we go. I found it. We're good. As speak of the devil, it's right there. Now we have to make that into a prop for before this season's out. By the way, we got just get like a Coke bottle, and just put like a ZA cola on it or something.
Wait, what is it?
It's ZA cola. ZA cola. It's like Zacola.
Zacola.
It's like cutesy kid way of saying I want Zacola. I want Zacola.
So good. I want the cola.
It's like I want the cola, but just cutesier. Like it's like modern. It's like it's edgy. It's modern. It's like it's.
I will see what I can do, my friend. I'll see what I can do.
I mean, I know it's like an empty soda bottle. Just put like a little label on there. Says ZA cola.
ZA cola.
Yeah, we can make it purple just because the show fits purple. Just for the heck of it, too, maybe. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, that's all I really get for Top Shelf. So you're really good at saying Zucko is just hilarious. So,
all right, let's move on to the heroic sandwich moment of the episode. I think I'll go first because mine is very, very, very simple.
Yours is literally. Well, is it the literal
mine is
like
it's. Besides the titular heroic sandwich moment, this is also another heroic sandwich moment where Jessica is in an alleyway. She passes a homeless person, and I believe you have the clip.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to play it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It goes a little something like this, folks. So after she's thrown out of the bar, she's greeted by a nice homeless man. And a hungry homeless man, we should say.
He's as nice as the homeless man from the Key and Peele Negro Town sketch.
Okay, it goes a little something like this.
Well, I'm a piece of shit. Shit sticks.
$1.
Blippi's punch card, 2 away from a free sub.
It's so sad that she doesn't even have $1.
Yeah, but it's the gesture that counts, and that's why this is my heroic sandwich moment. It is the thought that counts, and I think that guy, he could pull together some change for a sandwich, and then, once he actually does struggle through the sandwiches, and I think that free sandwich is going to taste pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And mostly the reason I picked it, I would admit this moment would just fall off my radar if not for the fact that it wasn't literally like a heroic moment involving a sandwich. So I had to go for it.
A lot of Marvel sandwich stuff when you think of it. Tony's, more burger, I should say, than sandwich, but like Tony Stark and the Burger King plugs, and of course you have Agent Carter with that whole Thompson's interrogation method by beer and a beer and a burger.
All right, but your heroic sandwich moment has a little more meat on its bone. So what?
As my heroic sandwich moment, it's pretty. Again, it's like Jessica again unconsciously getting closer to becoming a hero again through kind of the moment where she realizes the ultimate heroic action to take, where it's like going back home to appease Kilgrave to get everyone out of danger. But I love the moment that it's kind of transitioning her into that mindset where it's she basically speaks like every classic superhero. She kind of pulls a superhero cliche, but I love, first of all, it's a classic cliche that you can't really fault. It's like you need to say it. If you're a hero, it's something a hero say. But I love that Killer also kind of like pokes a hole in it, saying, "Well, no, we can't do that." It goes a little something like this. Well, he's basically just basically trying to bargain herself like any hero would in a dangerous situation. Sorry, here it is.
Oh, everyone, calm down. Get in the mood. Jessica. Well, surprised to see me. Glad to know I'd come for you. Not this fast. I will admit to keeping eyes on you. Spies are easy to come by.
Do whatever you're going to do to me, but let them go.
Well, I have to protect myself.
They control me, not them.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the polar opposite of the heroic sandwich moment, the Kilgrave command, Jessica. All right, you want to go first, or should I take it?
Well, you should go first because yours kind of leads in the mind. You have to walk people through yours, though.
So, folks, this is definitely BlueDragonFive. You would say this is the highlight of the episode, this whole police standoff right here?
Definitely one of the big visual, really grabbers of the season.
Sure. And I would wager to say this is, like, by far, up until this point in the series, this is the scene where it's like, oh, okay, if I don't know what this series was capable of before now I know.
I know this is kind of an unfair comparison, but I mean, just in terms of the shows are going for different things, do you think this is kind of the equivalent to the Cutman Hallway?
No, well, it's different because that happened so much earlier in the season, whereas this is just like a big payoff to like exactly what the Purple Man can do. I think the hallway fight was more kind of a demonstration of like, look how cool we can make our action scenes, whereas this was very much an in-character revelation. So anyways, so my Kilgrave command is when Jessica walks, Brett Mahoney goes and gets her out, says you're free to go. Something's very suspicious about that, considering she just dropped a human head on the desk. So she walks out and she sees a horrific sight. She sees just all the police pointing guns at each other. It's just a giant standoff. They're all just frozen in time. And instantly she knows Kilgrave. It's got to be Kilgrave. And it's just so chilling, BlueDragonFive. Just the visual, you're absolutely right. The visual is incredibly striking. It's just like, oh my God. Okay, Kilgrave has just gone to the next level here. And I think your moment is kind of like a good kind of like moment of levity to counteract this, because this is a super dark image to see, and I'm glad that this scene kind of like ends in a more comedic fashion. But yeah, just seeing all these cops just having their guns drawn at each other really illustrates just how Kilgrave's powers are just growing and growing and growing, and he's commanding so many people at once. It's terrifying.
Well, I didn't see the moment as comedic. I saw it was really sad, to be honest with you. But it's
well, I'm saying, you gotta have a laugh in there. You gotta have a laugh to break the tension.
Well, I don't think it's that kind of laugh, Tiki.
Right, fair enough.
Anyways, so the point is, so we've been building this last episode that Kilgrave, in addition to just trying to kind of play mind games with people in terms of I'm not controlling you, but you're feeding into what I want. But he's also using his power more strategically. In this episode, it shows you how meticulous and precise he is with his power in this police station, because it's not just like the whole like a command saying, "Okay, everyone draw your guns at each other and just stand there." It's a lot more than that, because that's the main command. Everyone's just having their guns drawn at each other. And I love the idea, by the way, that first of all, just with the reveal that you just mentioned, Tiki, I just love the idea that, he's been setting all this up while she's been in the interrogation room.
Exactly.
He just walked in there, gave them all commands, and had all planned.
Like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. All right.
And again, I just love her like walking out and says, "Oh man, I'm gonna kick Hogarth's cashmere." I'm just gonna. She's walking out there, just like, love this kind of the White Hell's Kitchen Police Department. Stanley picture in the back and all.
Sure, of course.
Just walking through, and there's like everyone just like this great little exploration into like exploring the bullpen of the police department. Just like, oh my god, they're all drawing their guns at each other. But I love just meticulousness of all the little commands on the side. There's to show how many things he has going at once.
Yeah, for sure.
And it goes like this too, and has a really sad ending, I think, for Jessica. I'll get into the sadness in a moment here to show you how meticulous he is building to that, though. It goes something like this.
I can't erase memories, but I can erase security footage. All evidence that you and I were over here has been deleted. Manual decapitations. Full of surprises. In 30 seconds, you'll all realise this was a hilarious joke, and you'll let Jessica Jones leave. Look for my present. When you're ready,
Oh god.
I'll see you alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but to me, I could definitely find some dark humor in that moment.
Well, I mean, let me tell you what I read from that scene. Again, which is why it's just
Okay.
such a great Kilgrave command. It's like, one, I mean, I love that Kilgrave he's going at it. He's playing it out so well that he knows that his beloved here has gotten to a hot spot, so he's made it so, well, she can't be kept even if they weren't kind of made to not forget, but just kind of write it off as a joke, which, again, it's illustrating that he can't make people forget things, but he can can't make people forget things, but he can just kind of give them a new lie to work with.
Mhm.
But, he just... He's going to have his way and just thought of every little detail to make sure he wasn't there, make sure she wasn't there, get rid of all the evidence on him. He's going to, he's getting rid of any security footage, any records they have on him. He's being a very strategic criminal, this guy. And then it's just, he makes his exit, he takes the evidence, which takes the little bag with a head in it with him. But again, in a way, it's like, you thought you could get, in a subtle way, he's kind of saying, you thought you could get me. You thought you could, have proof of my powers, proof of all that. Well, no, I'm taking all that proof with me. You're not going to be able to prove it. You just have my offer on the table, and that's all. And for even thinking this whole plan of yours could work, I'm going to have people laugh at you on the way out. They didn't have to laugh, just saying.
Okay, I see where we're going.
Basically, it's the world laughing at Jessica Jones at this Purple Man idea, in a way, just like saying, hey, everyone, you could. She went out of her way in that interrogation, just like proving, like, this is all real. She crunched up a chair right in front of you. And
Right.
just like, no, they're all laughing, like, no, Jessica, you can't win against me. I mean, I can make them think.
Okay, I see where you're going.
And just like this poor Jessica Jones is walking out, and then she's like running to her apartment. I love the music cue, by the way, when she's running to the apartment. I just want to point that out. I didn't mention the top shelf stuff. The score was really good this episode. Like,
It was.
It's like playing this really weird, not violin, but it's like kind of like Twilight Zone-y music. As she's just running really slowly.
I hear you. All
Really,
right.
really cool. Anyway, that's my Kilgrave command. The last.
Okay,
The
so
laughing.
now let's get to some alleyway evidence. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's empty. That's the evidence.
See, kill
Right.
her, get rid of it. Ah! Okay, but right off the
It was
bat,
gonna be like it was filled with Dexter Morgan's blood slides.
ah!
Oh god.
Okay, so Brett Mahoney and the 13th, I believe it's the
Of
13th
course.
precinct of Hell's
Uh-huh.
Kitchen. So that's should be his precinct.
You
So that
think
was those
Brett
big
Mahoney at
references.
this point is kind of like the Agent Coulson of the Netflix universe.
Well, no, technically Rosario Dawson is technically. So
Technically, yeah, I see that. They're both kind of like, I see Rosario Dawson as kind of like the Nick Fury, and then I see Brett Mahoney as the Agent Coulson.
I don't know. I think that then again, Nick Fury's not in every movie though. Well, then again, okay. To be fair, Agent Coulson isn't either. I'll give you that one. So
Right.
I don't know. It's that I think Mahoney's like on the chopping block where she isn't. That's the thing. Then again, if
But that's exactly what makes Mahoney the Coulson.
right. Sorry.
All right. Anyways, I thought we got a really good bit, kind of like leading into the next episode. We already kind of explored it with the homeless guy, but where Jessica's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a piece of shit."
Ah yes. So
I forget exactly how it goes, but
right. The Luke Cage, some ramifications of the Luke Cage thing. Speaking of which, big reference to the comics. Eventually, Jessica Jones, and maybe in the Defenders series they'll do this. You know, she gets pregnant with child of Luke Cage, and we'll reference do that.
right.
I just wanted to tell him.
You just wanted to tell him you love him, you want him back, you're gonna have his baby.
Yeah, I like that.
I see what you did there, Marvel. I see what you did there. Sneak it.
Yeah, but also, I love it's like what that whole scene also kind of included was just her explaining that the whole, I'm getting justice for Reva Connors. Yeah, essentially, I'm tell Luke, justice is being done to the right people.
Totally.
Again, it was really that's picking up where we left off on that episode of Luke Cage too, like just him seeking justice for Reva Connors.
Mm-hmm.
One day still not signing the papers.
No, unfortunately, that's something that kind of tails on more than it has to. Definitely the Dorothy stuff is kind of a good alleyway evidence sort of thing, because it's literally what we see is kind of like evidence for the way that it's all going to kind of come to a head later with Dorothy.
Yeah, now I got 2 bits for that one. So I got basically this is like we get some juicy hints at the past, and this is stuff I call them the rewatch. Completely forgot about. I don't know how, but I completely forgot about this stuff about Trish Walker. That was very interesting, given Jessica's dying. Again, actually, in retrospect, it gives Trish and Malcolm a lot to bond over. In retrospect,
Totally.
This scene right here.
So, what do I owe the pleasure?
Oh God.
It's about Trish. Why? What's happened? Is she on drugs again? She hasn't touched drugs since I dragged her away from you. I had no idea that doctor was overprescribed. Still no responsibility or remorse. I wish I could be like that. No responsibility. I took you in. You were an orphan. It's gotta count for something. You don't get credit for doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. I cared about publicity. I was a strategic play to further the Patsy Walker brand.
Oh yeah, I mean that right there, like furthering the Patsy Walker brand. That shows where her head's at.
Yeah, but also it's the idea Trish Walker was in a really horrible situation. Again, I forgot how tragic it really. Again, Dorothy Walker's a monster. Again, I don't know. I can want to say she's worse than Bill Fisk. I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, can we just agree to say they're equals in terms of horrible parenting? Because I feel like they're equals in entirely different ways.
Okay, but not as bad as the Turners, though.
Oh God, no! The Turners are fucking monsters.
The Turners are like the Manson family. But okay, but I'm just imagining Darren Morris.
Timmy, we need to kill Sharon Tate because the Beatles said so.
Yeah, seriously, man, I can imagine Darren Norris giving like a Charles Manson rant.
just going on a riff about like hidden subtext to Beatles albums.
Okay, but seriously though, with the idea that
I'm sorry,
Trish,
that was just a great analogy.
the idea that Trish Walker had a drug problem, that the mother just stood by there and allowed it because it probably was like helping her lose weight and stuff. And just point, she was just such a neglectful parent.
Yeah, and the whole losing weight stuff, as we've seen, is definitely one of the big. Oh, that's a big sticking issue with Trish and her mother for sure.
The idea is whether she didn't care or just like oh, I had no idea the doctor was over prescribing her, because that's a serious, dangerous thing.
For sure.
Becoming addicted on whatever medication is. I mean, still, addiction to medication is some of the hardest stuff to kick.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's see. So, Clemens and Mahoney callbacks. We got that. I already mentioned that, but just trying to think. Oh, one more thing with Dorothy. We had a flashback. So this is the first flashback we really had. Oh, sorry, not the first flashback. The first flashback to Jessica's childhood we have. And it goes with something like just a little taste of what we're going to get a lot of next episode, especially the open next episode.
Jessica, I told you we're not wasting any more time looking for it. I went on the board, I just can't remember which one. That wasn't very smart, was it? We'll buy you a new turtle.
Oh God, just so unpleasant.
Yeah. I believe what you meant to say was yes, thank you, Miss Walker.
Good.
Use proper etiquette.
Little glimpse of Trish coming up.
I just want to slap that woman.
You know it's rude to stare at people?
It wasn't so hunky dory with Trish in the beginning either.
No, yeah, it was definitely a slow burn for sure. That was an interesting revelation.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of any other things. The banana bread, of course, that was a final callback.
Of course.
And I love that with the banana bread, it was kind of like a final, like, it's kind of like the final, like, you did. Basically, it's like the old Rodney Dangerfield saying, you give him the okay sign. It's like Malcolm, he ate the banana bread, and he gave like a, He gets like Ruben got one of these. That's all he really wanted. Like, he wanted one of these, one of the okay signs. So Ruben, you did good. You made good banana bread, and you helped further the plot. That's all you can really ask for in a Netflix show.
For sure.
Okay, Simpson surveilling Kilgrave. That's a big thing. Mickey Mouse phone. Another thing.
Yeah.
Which was cool. We got a hidden Mickey in the show. Yeah.
We did.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Again, the mention of Jessica being orphaned and then taken in by Trish and her mom to further Patsy Walker name. Again, that was all mentioned in the audio. But Kilgrave trying to win over Jessica. That's the big looming plot thing we have, and that's kind of the last thing I got for just him trying to win her over.
And with that in mind, before we go over an hour and a half runtime, last call, everybody. Last call. I'm Luke Cage. I'm a big black man. Last call. All right. So, what do you think about this episode overall?
I thought it was great. I thought it was it really holds up on the rewatch. I think of course the ending cliffhanger is fantastic with the whole journal reveal and like the whole like you gotta go home. Just gets like been building it with episode 6 on like the whole he buys the house and now he's like this is like the episode where all the pieces come into place and everything's just set up and it's like with the breadcrumbs panned out to the kind of like this is like the entrance of the house. Like she's literally it's at the end of this one, she's walked into the house and inside where all the twisted, interesting. The fascinating stuff happens, but still, it's a great journey getting to that house. Though, like we're walking, it's like they can just Marvel Netflix shows are so good right now that we could have an entire episode, not a box episode, but it could be like this. Just like you're walking, basically, kind of do the Deadpool formula, where you're walking to the house, and you keep flashing back to meaningful moments or like conversations that are being had by the end of the movie or by the end of the episode. It's like you knock on the door and say, "I'm here." Boom.
Oh god.
I'm saying the Marvel Netflix shows are that good; they can get away with something like that. It was overall, it was a solid episode. Again, Robin was like the only detriment to the episode and the Wendy subplot.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Robin is going to be a detriment to every episode.
But again, the killing of
the series goes.
The killing of Ruben and having kind of like the body to get rid of was a good kind of plot thing to have, and there's to kind of like visually show what's going on, like why Kilgrave is such a danger to everyone, and why Jessica needs to. It's like a physical reminder of her guilt. That's what I'm going for. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't have much to say. Just overall, I think this episode, definitely the high point was the police station standoff. And I think that's kind of like a high point of the whole series in general.
Absolutely.
Lots of interesting character stuff surrounds it. You know, we get a lot of good stuff with, like we said, like kind of diving into Dorothy. That's going to be explored later. A lot of kind of setup stuff. But really, at the end of the day, I think this episode kind of lives and dies by that whole police standoff scene. And it really kind of captivated us. And I really do think that police standoff is like after 6 episodes of build up and just kind of being in suspense over what the Purple Man was capable of, we see exactly what he is capable of, and it is not pretty in the slightest. So that's where I feel this episode kind of definitely has its impact.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, you heard it, folks. Last call, which means we've been cut off. But as we finish our Marvel brand this evening, our mighty eel bottle. Before we finish off the next bottle of Jessica Jones, we take a moment to toast Marvel on another fine Netflix miniseries.
I'll drink to that.
Jessica!
Jessica!
Next person whose phone goes off has to eat it.